Welcome back to episode 2 of How to Become That Girl. Treat this as a podcast because this is pretty much uncut. I have already covered in episode 1 the mindset of how to become that girl. And if you want the definition of what I view that girl is, that is also in episode 1. Today we're going to do more physical. Gosh, this keeps going out of focus, I do apologise. I'm going to have to get closer now. We've already done the mental aspect. I thought we'd do the physical. By physical, I mean health, wellness. I'm going to give you 3 very specific, potentially niche things that I do that I think have made a really big impact on my life that I think will also help you. Number 1 is to do with working out. Now hear me out. I get a lot of questions every single day, a lot of comments asking what routine I do, what diet I do to maintain a certain physique. And a lot of those comments revolve around wanting a specific body type. And this is where my view completely differs. If you want to achieve a specific body type and that's the reason you're working out, you're doing it for the wrong reason. I hate to break it to you, but you are. My perspective on working out, and sorry by the way, my voice is going croaky. My perspective is you have to exercise and work out because you enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, it becomes a chore and you end up getting into a really toxic cycle of forcing yourself to do things because you want to fit normally a standard that society has set. My first thing is if you want to achieve a certain body type, take that out of your head. And what you do instead is you try loads of different exercises, loads of sports, for example, walking, running, maybe it's an exercise at the gym, and do loads of different things until you find one that you actually enjoy. For me, a bit weird, I love doing ab workouts. I really like the pain. It's something I just enjoy doing. I also love running because I love being outside. Weirdly enough, I always used to love doing the inclined walks on a treadmill because I'd then be on my phone and I'd be doing all of my admin. Those 3 specific things, for example, I know I enjoy doing. So I will do that for fun. That sounds a bit psycho, but it's true. And as a result, I've got a lean physique. And it's not because I've been trying to get this specific physique and I only care about looking a certain way. It's because the exercises that I enjoy doing mean that it's become a habit. And it's pretty much daily. And you might think, God, why do you work out every day? I'm not pushing myself to my limit every day. I'm working out because I enjoy doing it. And that's why I need to stress to you that if you want to have a physique, great. That's on you. I can't tell you not to have a certain physique. I can't tell you don't want a certain physique because I'm not you. But what I can say is, attitude-wise, don't let that be the only motivation for you exercising. Number 1, in terms of health, find exercises that work for you. Because if you don't like it, it's not going to be consistent. There's no point in trying to do loads of strenuous exercise for a month and then giving up. It's better to do small things every single day that you're consistent with, because that's where change comes. Yes, and I know it's annoying, it's a bit slow, but it's consistent. I'd rather have a slow change and get a physique that you're then happy with than try and do all these unhealthy methods to get to a specific physique. The next one, in terms of health, again, a lot of what I'm saying could be controversial. I always get asked, am I on a diet? Oh gosh, I've never been, let me just clarify, never been on a diet in my life. But saying that, I'm vegetarian. That is for moral reasons. I can't, my brain works in a different way. I cannot eat meat. If you give me meat, I will, number 1, cry my eyes out, but I will also be sick. It's something I've had in my brain that I've not been able to turn off since I was told what meat was when I was young. It's something I've had, it's just I'm born with it. Apart from being vegetarian, my big thing in terms of diet is I never count calories. I never look at a packet and go, I can't eat that. But that's also a big thing. I don't normally have packets to look at. And this is what it comes down to. Almost all of my food is something that I've made myself. And it's raw ingredients, whether it's using fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. And you may think that's more expensive. On my life, it is much cheaper for me to buy things whole and cook with than it is to go and buy a ready meal. And I think that's probably a big why as to, oh my gosh, I think that's a big reason as to why I've never dieted or had to check calories, because no offense, but apples don't really come with calories on the box. Neither does kale, neither does any of that. And don't get me wrong, I cook for myself, I eat very healthy, fresh food in many ways, but guys, I will also snack on chocolate in the evening or have treats here and there. And the reason that I think that this is so important to have in a health talk is your body is different to everyone else's. I know for a fact that I eat a lot more than my friends. And they always say to me they've got no idea where the food goes, because to them, it looks like I'm eating a lot. But my food that I eat, number 1, I use it because I exercise. I need to fuel my body. If I don't have fuel, how am I going to run? How am I going to lift? How am I going to gain muscle? But more so, the food that I eat isn't going to be filled with preservatives and highly calorific binders and ingredients, because I'm cooking from the ground up pretty much. Learning to cook for yourself and creating meals that you enjoy without worrying about calories is the healthiest way that you can eat. Because the reason I don't count calories, I'm someone that I'm highly driven by numbers. I'm very analytical. I love to analyze things. I have an Excel sheet for everything. And I know that if I was to start tracking calories, it'd become unhealthy. I've never cared about them before. Why would I care now? My advice for food-wise, start trying to cook as much as you can. Meal prep. Don't count calories. Again, that's personal to me. And this links straight back to the exercise. You don't need to be doing fad diets or fad exercises, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to get to a certain physique and you do it down this really quick route, you are just going to go straight back to normal in about 2 months after. It's all about small changes every day that you stick to, that's a habit for you. Habits are so much more important than these short-term goals that maybe seem attainable within a week or two, but they're not going to be sustainable. Now, the last bit in terms of health, for tip 3, I had a business meeting at the weekend because I'm planning something very, very, very exciting that I'm not going to say anything about yet, but I think it will have a very big change in education. But I'm not going to go into that. The reason I'm saying this is the man that I met to have this business meeting with, we went off track on conversation for a bit, and we were talking about just what you invest in. So whether that's your health, your family, your work, etc. And I said to him, sometimes, at least back in time, I used to find it really hard to spend time and money on myself. I'm very good at giving that to others, and that's one of my forms of love, is service. I love to do things for other people. And it's only really as of recent, after breaking up, that I've been able to put that energy back into me. And he said that he has this term for it, which he calls PD, which is personal development. A personal development fund that he makes for himself every month, and that dictates how much money he can spend on himself. Because he was saying, you should spend money on yourself to eat well, to go to the gym, for example. Maybe it's a form of skincare you love, maybe it's a form of smoothie you love. I'm not saying spend all of your money by any means, but I think it's really important that you should also invest into yourself. For example, my form of investment in terms of this type of call is, it's going to sound really simple, but it's getting good running trainers so that I'm not running in shoes that hurt my feet. I say that, I've not actually bought the trainers yet. As I said, I'm not very good at spending money. I will buy the trainers, I'm doing this to keep myself accountable. But buying yourself trainers so that you can run. Maybe, again, this is very simple, but maybe it's buying some form of protein powder that you really like in your smoothies. Maybe it's you're buying a specific moisturizer that you really like. Things that make you feel good are worth spending your money on. And it goes back to the same thing with health. All of these tips that I'm giving you are things to make you feel better. You're not having to count calories to look a certain way. You're not working out to look a certain way. You're not buying skincare or gym memberships to look a certain way. It's about creating a life that you enjoy, that great, the results from it are good. I'm very happy, I'm content with how I look, but I don't do any of this to have a certain physique or a certain body or a certain face. I do it because I feel better after it. Fall in love with exercise, fall in love with food, and make sure that you are using time and money on you. As much as it's great to give it to other people, as I said, girls, you are with yourself until the end. Not to be morbid, but you are. If you are in a relationship, you'd want to do things for your partner, start doing that for you. God, I feel like I've rambled in this so much and my voice is getting croaky. I'm going to leave this here. I will try and be more consistent with this series. I do apologise, but I will see you soon. There's some very, very, very exciting things coming that I'm going to keep under wraps for a bit longer. I'll see you soon.